Namaquo Horse Trails presents Basic Lunging in Preparation for Long Reining, Part 2 with Anne Barnes. You may freely use this video to teach you and your horse, but you do so entirely at your own risk.
In Part 1, we looked at walk and trot work on the lunge in preparation for long reining. We learned that I like to attach the lunge rein onto the snaffle bridle so that the horse gets used to some contact on the bit at this stage. They still work very freely, just basic walk and trot work. We looked at the body language of the person doing the lunging so that they could control the horse, voice commands and how important they are, and we looked at the rhythm and balance of the horse themselves. Now we are going to go on to Part 2, and we're going to attach side reins and include canter work. I have a very simple system. I use a lunging roller and attach my side reins to that, and while my horse is warming up, I let them dangle so the horse becomes more bump-proof. Then when I want to attach the side reins, I clip them onto the snaffle bit. The length of the side reins depends on the degree of experience that your horse has. Carla has a degree of experience with them already, so the contact is a little bit firmer, but when you first start your horse, you can start with longer side reins. You can also start your horse on very short sections, just walking. You don't even have to trot or canter. You can see Carla takes a moment to adjust to the contact, and then she works nicely into the contact. I'm still driving her on with the whip at her hindquarters, but I'm allowing her to slow down a little bit. When a horse brings their head in and finds the contact of the bit in the beginning of their training, they need to slow down to be able to figure it out. You cannot have speed and power simultaneously with a younger horse. So you'll see I've allowed her to slow down in walk, and you'll see that her trot has slowed down as well. So the session shouldn't be very long when your horse is wearing side reins. You don't want to overexert them and cause a negative reaction. So a couple of minutes is more than enough. Bit by bit, you can build this up over the lunging sessions that you will be doing with your horse. Prior to Carla's canter work, we're going to undo the side reins so that she once again has freedom of movement to go forwards into canter. There are a few exercises that we do on the lunge, and I want to show you one here today. Imagine your lunge ring is a clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. We're going to do a circle at each one of those numbers, and we're going to just see how balanced and quiet the horse can stay. So I'm going to start the exercise now. I push her into trot straight away. This is also part of her training, that she doesn't always have to wait before going into trot. You can do it quite quickly if you want to, but I wouldn't advise it on a highly strung horse. A calmer horse, you can push harder. And there is our circle at 12 o'clock. And there's a 10-meter circle at 3 o'clock. The smaller circles allow the horse to move a little bit slower. And what's happening now as well is I am walking with her before we get to the 6 o'clock circle. And then I'm standing still as she circles around me, doing her 10-meter circle. And then I walk with her again. The changes in your body and your body speed and your body language are what can affect your horse. So you need your horse to be totally used to an exercise like this, where you're constantly changing what you're doing and they accept it. We're going to be asking for a canter transition on the lunge. As you can see, Carla picked up a bit of speed and she's somewhat enthusiastic into canter. That's okay. A young horse just needs to go into canter and ideally on the correct canter lead. And the test is actually the trot after the canter. You see how calm she is again? The question you ask yourself is my horse doing the same speed trot after the canter as before the canter? Remember that what you did on the one side you need to do on the other. Carla is predominantly right-handed, so you will see that her circles on the left rein are ever so slightly more unbalanced and therefore faster than on the right rein. If you're having difficulty on the horse's stiffer side, just repeat the exercise a few more times to help them. Then we prepare to go into our canter transition on the left rein. As I mentioned previously, Carla prefers her right canter leads to her left. If your horse makes a mistake such as she did here, just let them come back to a trot and prepare to start again. And there she canters around on the left canter lead. And then her trot is a bit unbalanced and a bit fast after the canter, so we're going to be working on that. The goal, remember, is to get the trot nice and slow again after the canter. We're looking for a trot that is as slow after the canter as before the canter. This is our goal with this exercise, and it doesn't matter if it takes a few circles to achieve that. There, Carla got the trot after the canter. It was nice and quiet.
Thank you for watching. Would you like Anne to give you feedback on your training and riding? Well, become a Namak Horse Trails client and then send her a video of your efforts. She will send the video back with her commentary and advice.